The Baptist Foundation of Indiana supports Baptist ministries in Indiana and around the world. Through estate planning, funds management, church loans, and a wide variety of investment options, we help churches, individuals, and organizations plan for their futures while supporting charitable causes. The Baptist Foundation of Indiana is committed to strengthening Southern Baptist ministries that change lives through the power of the gospel. Thank you for serving on the Baptist Foundation Board of Directors. Welcome to new member orientation. Before we get started, there are several acronyms that might be helpful along the way. SCBI, the State Convention of Baptists in Indiana. BFI, or IBF, interchangeably, the Baptist Foundation of Indiana. BIF is the Baptist Investment Fund. BFOK, Baptist Foundation of Oklahoma, otherwise known as Waters Edge Advisors. And BOD, Board of Directors. In 1968, the Baptist Foundation of Indiana got its start with only a few dollars, but a very big vision. Today, in 2021, we manage over $8 million for organizations and individual investors around the state. God has blessed the foundation as it has expanded its reach, and our continued growth has enabled dozens of Southern Baptist ministries across Indiana to thrive. This is a picture of the first board of directors during their very first meeting. These 8 men left a lasting legacy through their service to the Baptist Foundation. Prior to the mid-90s, the foundation was operated by a volunteer board and staff of SCBI. Dr. George Jones was appointed as BFI's first executive director in 1995, also as a volunteer. He previously served on the board in 1991 and was the chair from 94 to 95. Brian Christie became the first paid executive director in October 1998. His salary was paid 75% by the foundation and 25% by SCBI, for which he worked 1 day a week as the executive director's administrative assistant. His title was changed to president in January 1999. Brian resigned by June 2001 to become the director of Highland Lakes Baptist Camp. Ray Barrett, who was the director of finances at SCBI, volunteered, and the foundation board agreed in June 2001 for Ray to serve as the interim president. When Kyle Brennan joined SCBI in September 2009, Ray began lessening his work with SCBI over several years and focused primarily on the foundation until his retirement in January of 2016. Jennifer Hall was recruited by the board as president-elect to serve with Ray for the last 6 months of 2015 and became president 2016. Our current president, Jennifer Hall, has a background in organizational fundraising, accounting, and financial advising. For 10 years as a consultant for the State Convention of Baptists in Indiana, she led the development of capital campaigns for churches around the state. In her previous role as controller for Northside Baptist Church in Indianapolis, Jennifer administered the accounting and payroll functions and worked collaboratively with the budget and personnel committees in financial decision-making. As an investment advisor for a national consumer brokerage firm, Jennifer held Series 6, 65, 7, and life and health insurance licenses. She also has experience in underwriting, working as a senior group underwriter for the largest HMO in Indiana. Jennifer has a bachelor's degree in business administration from the Kelley School of Business at IU, with concentrations in accounting and marketing. She lives in Carmel with her husband and 2 children. Our Director of Operations, Bev Alano, joined the Baptist Foundation of Indiana in August of 2017 after serving with the State Convention of Baptists in Indiana for 19 years. Her experience is primarily in administration and communication. Her bachelor's degree from IUPUI is in English literature. She also has completed postgraduate work at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville. Bev is an active member of Northside Baptist Church, where she's on staff as a part-time controller and serves in prayer ministry, missions, and women's ministry. Bev has 3 children and 6 grandchildren. The Baptist Foundation began as a trust agency for SCBI, managing trusts and endowments for generous donors. As the Foundation's assets grew, additional services and ministries were added. Church loans quickly became a primary service of the Foundation, and as demand for church loans increased, the Baptist Investment Fund, BIF, was created in 2013 to make even more funds available to loan. As you can see, once the Baptist Investment Fund was created, the assets of the Foundation quickly grew to over $8 million today. Take a look at this promotional video that explains more about how the Baptist Investment Fund works. It's been said that the local church is the hope of the world. There is no other institution, no government, business, university, or hospital that can transform lives more effectively than the church. But most churches also need tangible resources to accomplish their mission. So what happens when a growing church needs to buy land, build buildings, or make improvements to its property? This is where the ministry of the Baptist Foundation of Indiana can help. Since 2003, the Foundation has been providing loans to Southern Baptist churches in Indiana. How does it all work? It's really quite simple. John has money he's saving for a future purchase. Mary has a 401k from a former employer. One Sunday, they heard about the investments offered by the Foundation, like IRAs, demand accounts, and certificates, and they heard how the money invested at the Foundation was loaned back out to help ministries of all sizes buy property and build churches. They liked the competitive interest rate they could earn from these investments, and they really appreciated that their money would work for God's kingdom at the same time it was working for them. For Mary and John, and hundreds of others like them, it was an easy decision to invest at the Baptist Foundation of Indiana. You can help in this endeavor. While earning a competitive interest rate, investors like you can partner with the Foundation to build churches and invest in the institution that matters most, the local church. Learn more at inbaptistfoundation.org or text BFI to 31996. For the remainder of our time together, I'd like to take you through the Articles of Incorporation, the bylaws, our committees, and a brief look at our website. Articles of Incorporation are a set of documents filed with a government body to legally document the creation of a corporation. This type of legal document contains general information about the corporation, such as the business's name and location. In our case, the Articles of Incorporation are filed with the Secretary of State in Indiana and include the purpose: to serve institutions affiliated with SCBI, churches, associations, and individuals, to receive trust funds for management, and to encourage the giving of funds for ministry through trusts and estates. Next, the articles list the powers of the corporation. First, general corporate power. Some examples of this might be to sue or be sued in the corporate name, to purchase and use, sell land, dispose of assets, to make contracts, issue notes and bonds, invest funds, generally what you would expect of a corporation. Second, to accept gifts and bequests, and those gifts will be accepted and distributed following the directions given by the donor. When there are no donor directions, they are managed by the board of directors. There are a couple of limitations to these powers. First, private benefit. No money or property received can be used for the benefit of members, directors, or officers. except for reasonable compensation for the staff. In propaganda, no substantial part of the activities of the foundation shall be carrying on propaganda or otherwise attempting to influence legislation or a political campaign. Also to note that any amendment of these articles must be approved by SCBI. The bylaws of the foundation lay out the rules and regulations that govern the corporation and help establish the roles and duties of our directors and officers. The bylaws work in conjunction with the Articles of Incorporation to form the legal backbone of the foundation. First, our identification is laid out. The Baptist Foundation of Indiana Incorporated is our legal name. Second, the member and the member meetings. The sole member of the corporation is SCBI. We are a solely owned subsidiary of SCBI. Think of it as a parent-child type of relationship. The directors of the Baptist Foundation are elected at the annual SCBI meeting. Article 3 of the bylaws detail the board of directors. We can have up to 12 members, but no more than 25% of those 12 can be pastors. The term of office for a board of director is 3 years, and each person is eligible for 2 terms. A quorum is the minimum number of members of an assembly that must be present at any of its meetings to make the proceedings of that meeting valid. For the foundation, that number is 51%. We have 1 annual meeting that is required, but currently we hold 2. Electronic meetings can be conducted as needed. The board has complete authority on all matters, except a change in membership. Board member responsibilities include governance, determining the mission and purpose, selecting the president, supporting and evaluating the president and staff, serving on committees, ensuring adequate resources, and legal and ethical integrity. Volunteer, supporting the president by volunteering for various functions on the board of directors, participating in meetings, using our services personally, and representing the foundation to your own church. And of course, last but certainly not least, is for the board member to be Christ-centered. Article 4 of the bylaws details the officers of the corporation. The officers are elected by the board of directors and include the chair, the vice chair, secretary, and the president, who also serves as treasurer. No compensation is given to officers or board of directors, but expenses may be reimbursed. Finally, Article 5 of the bylaws details committees. It specifically sets forth the executive committee, but also gives the flexibility to add additional committees. Currently, we have the executive committee, the loan committee, investment committee, and charitable giving committee. Committee assignments are based on each member's expertise and are determined by the president, usually with input from each member. There are 3 main types of information that committees are responsible for. First, decision information, setting policy and focusing on the future. Monitoring information of past performance and comparing the policy to reality. And then incidental information, learning the organization's personality and focusing on present operations. Each board member will be asked to serve on at least 1 committee. Executive Committee. The Executive Committee provides organizational oversight and direction and handles high-level personnel issues. It has the full authority of the board if approved by 51%. Is comprised of the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary, and typically 1 or 2 other members based on their experience. Selects the president, sets compensation, and performs performance evaluations. Reviews and approves the budget, is involved in long-range planning, financial oversight, and, of course, ensures legal and ethical integrity. Loan Committee. The Baptist Foundation of Indiana helps to support growing churches and ministries through building and expansion loans. It's a powerful way to make a Christian impact in Indiana and a smart alternative to secular lending through banks and credit unions. Loans are available for new construction, facility renovation and expansion, refinancing of an existing loan, or any other church-related purpose. The Loan Committee sets policies on loans, monitors existing and prospective loans, manages relationships with our partners, and the marketing of loans. Our current loan portfolio is $4.5 million in partnership loans and $210,000 in direct loans for a total loan portfolio of $4.7 million, which is 33 loans. Here's a look at our current ministry loan rates. Investment Committee. Investment accounts are available to individuals, churches, associations, and other church-related organizations. Whether you are rolling over your 401k, transferring funds from your existing IRA, or just opening a savings account, the Baptist Foundation of Indiana has an investment account to meet your needs. The Investment Committee sets the policies on these investments, including rates, offerings, liquidity, monitors the existing investments, reviews the offering circular, which is our version of a prospectus, and works with marketing. The Baptist Investment Fund currently is $5.8 million in a total of 150 accounts. Our endowments, our trust funds, and our unrestricted funds total $2.4 million. Here's a look at our interest rates and account terms. We offer a demand account with a minimum investment of $1,000. It pays a 1% interest rate on investments from $1,000 to $49,999. If $50,000 or more is invested, the account will receive a 1.25% interest rate. There is one exception to that. If you are an ordained minister, you can open an account with as little as $250 and automatically receive 1.25% on the entire balance. We also offer a portfolio of time accounts, otherwise known as certificates of deposit. The minimum investment is $5,000 and range from 1 year of duration to 5 years. There's bonus interest for jumbo accounts over $100,000 of 0.1% and over $500,000 of 0.15. The total bonus account would be 0.25% interest on the excess principal amount. Finally, our Charitable Committee. Our Charitable Committee sets policies on trust distributions of our endowment and scholarships. They review and approve the distributions. They administer the annual scholarship program, as well as are responsible for promotion and marketing. Currently, there's $2.4 million in our endowment and our trust funds, and in 2020, we distributed $48,000 to charitable causes and $19,000 in scholarships. Now I'd like to walk you through our website and point out a few key features. The address for the Foundation's site is www.inbaptistfoundation.org. If you click on the Investment tab, you can read a little more about how our investments work and the relationship between church loans and investments. There's also an orange button that will take you directly to our current rates and terms. On the Loan tab, you can read about the process of applying for a loan and click the orange button to apply directly online. This is a very popular feature on our site and one that our potential loan clients find very convenient. On the Kingdom Building tab, you can read about different types of gifts you can make through the Foundation and gather more information about gifts of stock and donor-advised funds. Finally, after scrolling further down on the Kingdom Building tab, you can apply for a scholarship online and download a church endorsement form. Thank you for your service to the Baptist Foundation of Indiana as a board member. Together, we can impact lives and invest in the institution that matters most, the local church, and serve Southern Baptists in Indiana.